We are super grateful to have Zeki on the show today. Yeah, man. Mad
Yeah,
applause, air horns, all that, man.
yeah, man.
Thank you
Glad to
so
be here.
much. Yeah, good. Thank you for being with us. Um, if we can just kick it off just by letting you introduce yourself, tell the people who you are, where you're from, and what you do.
Yeah, so my name's Zeki. I'm a rapper from Northeast London. I'm in Exeter right now, at uni in Exeter, but home is London. So
Nice, no doubt, man. Shout out that Exeter space. Brought Zway and
yeah,
Hassan together. Brought us you. That's love, man. That's love. So I got a bunch of questions for you. Zway and I are hip hop heads. We definitely
mm.
want to dive into your process, what your journey's been like. I'll let Zway kick that off.
Yeah, man. All we want to know, which is super fascinating, because I've gotten to see you go over last year, and I remember we had a conversation where you were saying excited you are for this year because you really want to dive deep into your music and you really want to give it everything you could. So if you can just speak about that point, maybe a bit of your journey as how you become Zeki, the rapper that we enjoy, also where you were at when you turned on that switch. You're like, actually, I'm about to give it my all.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I've been making music for like 6 years, I think, in total. But I mean, it started off when I was like 16. I was just in my bedroom. I had like free software. I was using Audacity. I had like a £20 mic from Amazon I had. So it started off like that, and then I got better software. I got a better mic, and then I think it was the end of after my in my second year of uni. So I think 2 years ago in the summer, I went to a studio for the first time, like an actual recording studio. And then yeah, I ended up taking a year out from uni. I was meant to go back a month because that was in August. I was meant to go back in the September, but I didn't. I took a year out. I was in London, just working full time, and that was kind of when it switched from being like just a hobby to like I actually want to do this because like nothing else brings me as much joy as making music does. Like the personal satisfaction, and I couldn't really see myself doing anything else. And yeah, I just stuck with it. Even at uni this year, like I stocked up on tracks while I was in London, so I still had stuff to release when I was here. And yeah, I've got my last year uni now, just powering through it. The end's in sight, got a couple months left, and then coming back in London, back on it full time. So yeah,
Dope, man. Congrats on being about to wrap that up over there as well in terms of uni,
thank you,
and
man.
and shout out to you for following that passion. You know, that's a difficult choice, and a lot of times we're pushed and told to go the safer route. So
Mm.
shout out to you for following that drive. Uh, I would love to know, just like you were saying that making music is the space where you feel happiest. Like, what is your process like? Is it like, do you write in the studio? Do you write beforehand? What inspires you, and what does the process of making music look like for you?
Yeah, I mean, I tend to write beforehand. Like I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I don't really like writing in the studio because I feel like it takes like I usually write in a couple sessions. So if I'm at home, I'll get a beat. If I either find it on YouTube or like a couple of my friends produce, and they'll send me beats, and I'll just write at home and then take it to the studio. But if I'm going to studio with like people, because I go by myself most of the time, but if I go for a group session, then yeah, I'll have to write in the studio. But I prefer to just like sit in my room, have like no distractions, like phone on airplane mode, and yeah, just write until because with something creative, it comes and goes. Like I haven't
Sure.
written anything. I'll go a month without writing anything, and then I'll write like 3 tracks in a week. So it's yeah, because it's comes something creative. There's a lot of fluctuation, which is why you kind of have to like
Mm.
just if you get any kind of inspiration, you got to just go with it. Like I'll be in supermarkets, in the gym, just like on my nose page, just type in. So you can't wait. I don't like waiting until I get back. Just wherever I am.
No
That
doubt,
makes
man. That
sense. That makes all the sense, you know. And that type of meticulous approach that you take to your work, I did want to say it really shows because when you listen to songs like One More and you really understand the whole motivation behind it, right? It's very intentful about wanting more and pushing through and like, you know, my hate fuck my haters. Sorry, mom. My mom watches the show, but it's really about that overcoming process. And then you listen to shows, you listen to songs like Legacy, which also have the same, type of focus to it. It really does seem that you are taking a very intentional approach at the message in your music. You say that that message is.
Oh, I don't know if Zoe broke up for you too. I heard the message.
Yeah, I had the same.
Run that right back if you can.
Am I back? Am I back? Can you guys hear me? This
Yeah, I
show
can
is
hear you now.
live, because we've been keeping this show super live, man. All these interruptions apart, we do this raw. But more than anything, man, the ending on the message is exactly what I was get into, man. Your music has so much. It seems like you're very intentional about the you want to put out in your music. Maybe you can just about that.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I'm glad it shows. Yeah, I mean, I think music, obviously, music's art. Like, your music should be a representation of you as a person, because that's ultimately the way to connect with the listeners. Like, if you're listening to a song and you feel like, even if it's only a tiny bit, if you're getting to know the person better, then you're more likely to become a fan, because music that connects with people emotionally is like the most successful artists have done that. And the artists that, like the Lil Pumps and stuff like that don't really have that kind of emotional aspect to their music, often their careers there's no longevity in that. So yeah, that's kind of my priority was always to make sure that like my music was a representation of who I am. And like there's different styles, like obviously like whatever mood I'm in will affect the lyrics that I come up with. So like I have to be in a certain mood to write like a sad song, or a certain mood to write a song to like a beat that's upbeat. So yeah, there's a lot of factors that come into it, but I just try and be myself as much as I can.
Speaking of some of your peers and some other folks in the game, while you're in that kind of creative flow, do you listen to a lot of other artists? And if so, who are some of the folks you listen to? Or do you kind of stray away from hip hop while you're making it?
I mean, the vast majority of the music I listen to is hip hop, and like that's where all of my biggest like influences come from. So Fetty Wap is like my favorite rapper by far. He's been my favorite rapper for like since he popped off in like 2013, 2014. And I think you can definitely, I mean, in my older music maybe, because I was like obsessed, bro. It was literally like all I listened to. So you can definitely hear the similarities. But yeah, in the last few years, I've been listening to a lot of like UK hip hop, like D Block, are my
Nice.
favorite UK act, stuff like that. So yeah, I think like even my accent in my songs changed a little bit, because before I didn't listen to much UK music, so it was my voice was like kind of like a grey area between, it's like American-ish English. But now that I've got like lots of UK influences, I feel like I've been able to stick with that, which is obviously what I wanted to do, because that is who I am. Like I'm from the UK, I'm from London. I don't want to sound like I'm not. Yeah, no, I don't really listen to music. Like when I'm writing, I like to just kind of block out literally all. I like close the blinds, like phone on airplane mode, everything, and just get writing.
That sounds very much like Lil Wayne's writing process. Famously, when he was asked when writing the Carter Three, they're like, "So what are you listening to?" And he goes, me, and me."
Yeah, literally.
So that is what it is. But speaking of that Fetty Wap era, that 2013, 2014 run was quite
Oh,
insane.
bro, so good,
And
man.
I
So
do
good.
remember Miles and I were in the club during that time, and when Trap Queen played, there was absolutely nothing like it at that time.
Yeah, they used to have like 30 Wap hour at the clubs, man. I was hearing about that. They just play like, because he had like so many songs in the charts, but like songs that were going diamond, platinum. That whole album went mad. Like I went to a club in Exeter on Friday, and they spun a couple of Fetty Wap tracks, because it's just like he's just like legendary status, and I'm like those songs are never gonna die.
Man, what a wild time to be outside.
Yeah,
That was a great top time to be outside when Fetty Wap was at his peak.
yeah. That summer was. I think that's why it's still so popular,
Yeah.
because even when I hear it, I've been listening to those songs like consistently for like 8 years now, and they still bring back like summer memories for me. Because I was in a secondary school, so I wasn't like old enough to go to clubs or whatever. But yeah, man, some serious core memories attached to those songs.
No doubt,
You
man.
know, we old enough to go to the clubs at that time, and unfortunately, like I said, my mother listens to the show, so I can't really speak about the specifics of what happened over that summer. I'll just let you know, Trap Queen was lit. Funny enough, off of that Fetty Wap element, you know, what made Fetty so special at the time was his melodic approach to music,
Mm,
which is something that is very prevalent in your approach to music.
yeah.
You're very melody driven. And when you jumped onto the stream, you know, in the pre-show at the back, we're playing a video of you singing in the studio, and it sounded like there was no auto-tune, there's no nothing, it's just you harmonizing.
Mm,
Personally, for me, I was very impressed at your vocal capabilities just as is in that way. And that is actually one of like my favorite pieces of creativity that you've put out. It's just even that snippet, because it shows your melodic mindset. So uh are you gonna drop an R&B album anytime soon? Now that
yeah,
we know
man.
you have these singing chops.
No, but yeah, definitely. I feel like a lot of the music I've put out, because I've kind of focused on like like harder hip hop, but like I'm working on this EP at the moment, and there's a few songs that are more acoustic, more kind of singy. I'm trying to move away from like trap beats and move. I know Hassan is very down for me to do that as well. I'm trying to move kind of more into other genres. But like once I'm out of uni, because I basically just I've seen this year as like my life's just been on pause kind of, because like music's my life and I haven't been able to pursue that as much as I wanted to this year. But yeah, once I'm out of uni and I'm working and I got the money to properly fund it, I'm going to try and put like a tape together with a whole bunch of different genres. Because like when I was like 8 or 9, like the very first music I liked was like rock music, like Nickelback, that kind of like rock. And then after that, I moved into hip hop. So I kind of do want to try and make a pop song, make a rock song, like R&B, maybe just like a acoustic with no beat, whatever, make something like that.
That's dope. Well, we excited for that EP. Definitely keep us in the loop so we
Yeah,
can
for
blast
sure.
that out to all the listeners when that drops. But I just tagging on to that point about kind of your vocal ability and also dabbling in some of those other kind of sounds. I think that all can really lend and really help out when it comes time to perform your
Mm.
music. So let me ask you, what is have you had, like, in terms of shows that you've done, uh what has that been like? And then also, is there anywhere that you see as like where that you would love to perform? You know what I mean? Any venues or spots or festivals that you see yourself, if I could do that, that would be
Mm.
amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like a festival goer, but I have been to Wireless like more or less every year since I was like 17, I think. So that would be the dream for me, because that's like it's in North London, like it's actually just well, it's not down the road, but 4 stops on the tube and I'm there. And I've been going since a kid. Like that would be the dream, like Wireless main sstage.
Yeah,
I do
nothing
like
like
You
that.
heard it
performing
here
at home.
first.
Yeah, I've done. Yeah, I
Yeah,
did
you
two
heard it.
shows. I did one in September and one maybe October or something like that. Yeah, the first one was like a headline show, so I was like the main act, which felt pretty mad, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
had my like a big poster with my face on it and my name at the top. So yeah, that was a nice little taste for what hopefully is in the future. But yeah, no, it was good. A bunch of my friends came. We were just turning up. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, people did come up to me and said like you've actually got a very good voice. Like wasn't expecting that, because there were a lot of rappers there. That wasn't really. I wouldn't call myself like a rapper because it's on more on the melodic side. But yeah, I do love performing live. Like I love singing. I love singing my heart out. And there's no better environment to do it in than like on a stage with people watching you.
I love
That's
that
as
for
good as
you.
it gets.
I love that for you, man. And like I said, you know, I think the big thing that I really enjoyed about your progression is hearing how your vocal abilities keep improving, man. So, personally, as someone that is invested through you, through a producer, and as someone that I've met and have spoken with, definitely keep pushing that side. You know, I think that's
Yeah,
that's
100.
really a differentiator for you. And you know, we'll be very excited once you do get on that Wireless stage to be like, you saw me first. You know, Zeki touched down on
Yeah,
the
man.
live show and has spoken to existence.
Yeah, bro. Hopefully, next 5 years, I got high hopes.
Well, we got high hopes for you, but don't get too big for us. You know what I'm saying? That's the beauty. You got to come
Nah,
back,
yeah,
as it continues to pop off. But dope to hear that you've gotten to headline the show. Congratulations on that. That's
thank
that's
you.
amazing. Um, I just want to, one of my last questions that I had that I really wanted to hear from you is like, the game is changing so much so quickly, right? And we kind of came up in a whole different era with like CDs and even with like the online era of downloading music. It's in a different place now with streaming. And so how do you feel about being an artist today? Are you glad that you're in kind of this era and this period? Or do you wish that, you know, you could have been a part of like the 90s or those 2000s, or even like be having this moment in your career back when Fetty was hot and be alongside him in that type of era? How do you feel about that timeline?
That's something I think about a lot, to be honest. I think if like ideally, if I had been in this position like 5 years ago, I think that would have been good. Because obviously, like, I started recording just with a laptop and a mic in my room, and like studios are so accessible at the moment. Like music has become way more accessible. But at the same time, like, bro, I hate TikTok. I hate like that whole side of like where the music game's gone. And they used to just send A&Rs to clubs and events and performances and stuff, and that would be how like the next generation got discovered. And now it's just like it's just scrolling on TikTok, because I am on TikTok, but like I basically just if I post something on Instagram, I'll just post it on TikTok, and that's it. Like I don't actually make TikToks in the app. I hate using it. It's just I think that side of it, like, and I'm not nothing against rappers that blow up off TikTok. Like it's obviously a very good tool, and it is free. Like it's accessible, which is always a good thing. But yeah, I don't like the like how important your social media presence is, because I'm not really a massive fan of social media, like using it. I force myself to post on Instagram because I have to. Like you can't not be on it. Yeah, like 5 years ago. Sorry.
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah, it is uncomfortable. I mean, that's why I feel like the hardest part about being an artist is like the very beginning, because once it picks up a bit, it should pick up more and more and more, and kind of like until it's exponential. But yeah, at the moment, like I'm obviously doing all myself. I don't have a manager or anything. I would love to just have a manager who can just deal with the promotion side of it, and I could just make the music. But yeah, it's not ideal having to be like super active on socials.
Yeah, you got to play the game. You got to play the game. But the way that you're developing and your willingness to kind of play with different sounds, you'll be all right. You'll be all right. And even in this era, no doubt.
Hey man, you know, it's absolutely been a pleasure to have you, and it's like you already know what we're going to be talking about through the rest of the show, man. Diving deeper into that whole social media, TikTok exponenza, you know. So we do want to thank you for already graciously ushering us into that part of the segment. Before you get out of here, man, we like to really give not rappers, sorry, because that's not what you are. We love to give artists just a space to just tell people in a snippet like format who Zeki is, where they can find you, and what to look out for.
My Instagram is 317Zeki. That's same with my TikTok. And then my stage name there is my Spotify. So it's just Zep and then #KI.
No doubt, man. All the way live. You know, if we bring somebody on, if we welcome them to the live family, it's because we're actually rocking with what they're making. So go check Zeki out. That's the stamp.
I believe we have even some videos to be able to check out of Zeki as we go to our next segment. This is Zeki's Wanting More. Check it out.
Appreciate you, bro.
Thank you for having me.
Higher fashion in some higher places, yeah. I need the highlight. Keep my whip clean and my wrist bling, so you can see me, yeah. Go and leave me, see if I can, cause I've been left before. I've been counting money, I'm trying to get rich, so I'm just left here wanting more. High fashion in some higher places, yeah. Man, I swear I need the highlight. I keep my whip clean and my wrist bling, so you can see me shining when I fly by. I'm in my own world, head in the clouds. I'm zoned out when she's speaking, I ain't listening, cause I got a picture on my mind, I'm trying to make it out. I want a chain so bright, no light, and it's still glistening. I'm trying to sleep, but my mind is racing, yeah. This anxiety gets crippling, but I can't let it tie me down or hold me back, no way. I got way too much to lose, and bitch, the difference is I got talent inside me. I'm changing lanes to give a fuck about if the feds behind me. I can't let a bitch confine me. No, I ain't speaking kindly. I like to hold on to my trust. I can't just give it blindly. Wake up with a snake beside me. How the fuck ain't no one inside me? My bros say give it time, be patient, cause you know it's likely. I got a vision in my head and I'm working precisely. She can tell my jacket's pricey. She screaming fuss inside me. Trust me, I ain't thinking wisely. No, I need a change every day. It's just the same, man. I'm sick of it.